Today, we're going to be giving y'all some updates on our lovable Aquaman, or Khal Drogo's unique clothing choices. If you haven't caught on, we're talking about none other than Jason Momoa. Also, he might have just hinted at being the next villain for the Red Cape. Well, this man sure knows how to make headlines. So, if you want to know all the deets we've got so far, let's get into it. First up, clothes aren't it for Momoa anymore, and we get it.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. That was an accident.
Yeah.
You know what's actually interesting is
Before y'all get any ideas, hold your horses. He makes some valid points. The Slumberland actor stated that he began wearing a traditional Malo, a thong-like item, while preparing for his upcoming role in the Apple TV Plus series Chief of War. The show is set in 18th century Hawaii, and guess what? He's developed a bit of a thing for the quote-unquote outfit. When asked about a recent Insta post on Jimmy Kimmel, where he's wearing it during a fishing trip, Momoa just said, "That's a traditional Malo. It's what Hawaiians wear," and he'd gotten used to it being a creator, writer, director, producer, and actor on the new series. So come on guys, he's appreciating the custom, and who can say anything but good for him, especially cause when asked if it was comfortable, Jason responded, "Oh my goodness, yes," saying he doesn't even enjoy wearing clothes anymore, cause every day he's there. The Jimmy Kimmel Live host then asked his guest if he was wearing a Malo under his clothes during their interview, which led the 43-year-old star to get up and remove his jacket and silk pajamas until he was baring his buttocks in the garment. Honestly, we'll just end with giving credit for the confidence on that. Up next, Momoa on becoming comfortable in his body.
I have so many people come up to me and they're just like, "That is the greatest thing ever." They love it.
Dude, it's the funniest thing ever.
Hey, it's a fair question raised, cause even with all the hooping and oh my gods from the audience, you still gotta wonder, where did the confidence come from? Look, we get it. Short answer, he's Jason Momoa. But even he admits it ain't as simple as just having the insanely comfortable Malo. Honestly, at this point, it just seems like he's enjoying the dad bod he's been able to keep going, even with his recovery through his hernia surgery earlier this year. And for that, guys, you've got to give the man credit for making the most of what he got, which, according to Men's Health, gets clocked in at about 238 pounds with an impressive 50-inch chest and 19-inch biceps. Okay, first off, that's his dad bod. Let's just make that clear, but you get more and more why he's stripped on live TV, right? So, as far as his relationship with his image is concerned, we're honestly proud that he's kept that confidence, even with some fandoms having different expectations about how their characters should look bigger, which, guys, seriously, we'd like anyone who says something like that actually challenges this beast to a surf-off or a humbling arm wrestling match. With a lot of other plans in his future, that could be an incredible performance. Following that, Jason's new DCEU villain.
No, I wear underwear. I don't wear panties.
Stick around with these two when we come back.
To be fair, until anything is confirmed, this is just fun speculation, but there could be some hints about his new role. In a recent interview with comicbook.com, the Aquaman star responded to DC Studios head James Gunn maybe teasing Lobo as the villain of Man of Steel 2. Momoa was asked by Brandon Davis if Gunn's Mastodon post about the DC villain and whether it was related to the actor's recent comment that his dreams would come true under Gunn and Peter Safran's time at Warner Brothers. You see how these things just match up a little too perfectly? And his answer was just a calm, "Well, everyone knows I'm a comic book fan," adding that fans can do their research and find out what this dream project is. As cool and mysterious that comment is, it's also a bit annoying, but in the best way, cause if there's one thing DC fans have learned to do is push through challenges. Trust us, we've been through a lot for this era to come around. So now, when it's just within our reach, the company might finally be playing its cards right, even in the secret-keeping part. But if you see his interview, y'all can hear the cheeky smile with his words, and whether or not we're just reading into that for our nerd dreams, well, no one's gonna confirm or deny that right now, so might as well. The best part? He hasn't stopped there in this connection. Next up, Lobo just made sense for Aquaman.
Gave up acting just so I could come here and struggle and try to get on SNL.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then I got Game of Thrones, so it kind of went out the...
And we need to see them have another go-round. This doesn't come out of thin air. Momoa had already shown interest in playing Lobo, even telling the New York Times or NYT that before he'd landed the role of Arthur Curry, he joked that Zack Snyder wanted him to play the Superman villain. He'd gone on to tell the New York Times that when he was called into Snyder's office, the director of Justice League and Man of Steel asked the Game of Thrones star, "Do you know who I want you to play?" And Momoa replied, "Lobo." Also, the fact that he even got a choice just shows y'all the respect people have for his talent. Love that for him. Still, the road to get there wasn't a straight one. Momoa revealed that though people loved to see him in the DCEU, they didn't really know what to do with him. He stated that at one point, Snyder suggested him to go for Batman. That would have been an interesting timeline, but he refused, saying he couldn't see himself in that role. That being said, there is a tape somewhere that has Momoa's try at Batman, and we do think we should see it. Either way, Snyder summoned this actor to his office again, which is just insanely dramatic, and we love it. And there, Jason answered Lobo because the vibe of the long-haired, cigar-smoking, motorcycle-riding alien bounty hunter from the District of Columbia just spoke to him. Let's talk about Superman versus Lobo.
Take it off.
No, no.
Yeah, hold it. Take it off. Take it off.
It's not. It's.
Yeah.
As unexpected as it'll be, it could also be very cool, and something Momoa has been rooting for since his first talks with Snyder. It honestly looks like this has been a long time coming, but at first, Snyder had actually refused Jason's suggestion, probably because he was already such a strong candidate for Aquaman, and still, no one would have touched that storyline for another 3 or 4 years after Justice League. Looking back on that, Jason also admitted that he'd been through a brutal reality, hopping from 1 or 2 cameo scenes in Batman or Superman until he finally got Aquaman, and for the sake of this vid, we're not even gonna jump into who that came down to. Still, because of this, he realized that the only character besides Aquaman he wanted to play was Lobo, and honestly, mostly because of the challenge he became for Superman. In a 2019 interview with comicbook.com, the actor was asked who else in the DC universe he would like to play. It's not surprising he'd repeated Lobo. At this point, guys, even if you don't want to see a movie with them, he clearly wants this role, and with everything on in the DCEU right now, we just want it for him, especially because he even remembered how being cast as Aquaman for him was super random, like him playing Robin, but Lobo, him, he gets. Though whether or not this ends up happening, we're gonna have to wait and see. Lastly, what happens if Lobo comes to the DCEU?
Was the queen always, and when I met her, we met at this jazz club, and we just happened to be at the right place, right time.
Because see, as magical as his performance might be, the major issue would still remain. Jason Momoa is already the face of Aquaman, and he's pretty well known for his role, which means in this DC universe, he's already a hero. It'd honestly be like if Tony Stark actor Robert Downey Jr. asked to play Norman Osborn in the next Spider-Man film. Don't get us wrong, we'd love to see that legend again in his world, but maybe not like that. So, is there a solution to that? Well, at this point, in the newly made DCU, we weren't kidding when we said anything can happen. Their plans literally seem to be looking like that. And Warner Brothers appears to be coming to the point where they'll complete the announced slate and then reset in some way. Hopefully a good way at least. Still, that doesn't point to completely deleting the current canon. Hopefully not. But it may be calling to rethink who their big tentpole heroes are and who plays them, or who wants to play them. It's kind of the same stance as Henry Cavill finally returning to his iconic role. It just fits right. So if a film like next year's The Flash is rumored to reset the universe, there could be an option for someone like Momoa to move from his Arthur Curry role to something like Lobo, but that's just our humble suggestion. That's a wrap on this video. Let us know what y'all think about Momoa potentially playing a villain in the same universe where he's become an iconic superhero. And do you think Lobo is the right choice? Also, would you ever want to give wearing a Malo a try, even if just for the experience of it? Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.
All good.
Yeah?
Still not really doing sit-ups.
Okay.
Just trying to keep that